think that's brilliant. And I'm too lazy to do any Halloween decor in the house, so it's gonna have to do. Well, she seems indifferent. Welcome back to the Flywheel Films YouTube channel. I guess a vlog. Beautiful, beautiful evening out here. The mountains, sunset's approaching. It's fall. The aspens are peaking about now. Leaf peeping is a real thing. That's what they call it out here in Colorado. And this car just needs something. So very happy with it. Obviously you guys saw the wheel video, hopefully. Loving the wheels. It is a huge improvement over where it was as far as the fit and finish, the flushness, if you will. But there's just a little bit more I think it could benefit from in the form of, I guess, spacers, which have come. I have opted for hub-centric wheel spacers. 3mm for, I think, what I'm going to do on the front, and 5mm on the rear. Stance Magic is the brand. I don't know what I think about that. But they were on Amazon. They were highly rated. I'll try to leave a link in the description, although Amazon links tend to change over time anyways. So maybe just do your own research. But that's kind of the thought. Let's improve the looks of this car a little bit as far as wheel fitment, but also what I'm thinking now. I'm literally doing this off the cuff, so forgive the lack of planning. But this smiley face, as we've seen on my friend Shamir's car, or you may know him as Kaizen Miata, the other white NC special edition on Instagram, he has done teeth on his grill, which is just so cool. And honestly, kind of fitting for me all year, being like a ghost, although ghosts don't really have teeth, or maybe they do, I don't know. I just think with the license plate, I could rock that all year. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but it's October. Just began. Halloween's around the corner. I think that would be a fun addition. So join me on this little adventure as we kind of fix the wheel fitment a little bit. It's genuinely really good. I mean, the Kogeki's made it phenomenal compared to what it was from the actual factory with those wheels. As cool as they looked, sold those to a lucky buyer, I guess. So yeah, join me as I fix the wheel fitment a little bit, or adjust it. Some minor adjustments visually from the wheel fitment section. Maybe adding teeth to the grill if I can figure that out. So I don't know, what do I call this video? Minor cosmetic improvements to the Miata. It's a work in progress. So a quick discussion on spacers. First of all, they have some controversial opinions actually in the forums just across the board. With this car, people have run spacers with the stock wheels because the offset is so high and the wheels are narrow, 7 inches wide with a 55 offset. You can run effectively a 1 inch or about 25 mil spacer, and that will make them look much more flush. Of course, that slightly depends on your camber as well. But people debate that spacers tend to have negative effects on, I guess, the wear of maybe the hubs or something. It just adds more stress to the car. Granted, a higher offset wheel could also add the same amount of stress theoretically, but it's just another component that could potentially fail or something. If you're looking at less than an inch, a lot of those inch spacers have like their own separate lugs to add in. If you have less than an inch, you're running into issues with the factory lugs not clearing behind the wheel. So that's a whole other issue. I actually tried running some 20 mil spacers from my friend Ahmad. Shout out to Ahmadifications on YouTube. He had some off his Stinger that were like the perfect fit, except I would have had to shave my studs down to make them fit. And it would have looked good on the stock wheels, but I also wanted wider wheels, so I don't have to worry about that. Most people from my research have said with these spacers, the really slim ones, which actually, let me see if I can... God, I hate shitty packaging. That side broke too. Well, that's a star off the Amazon review. Freaking piece of crap. God bless. Perfect. First try.
First try.
So these have the appropriate 5x114.3 bolt pattern. They are, I think these are the 5mm ones, or maybe they're the 3mm, I don't know. One I got is 5mm, one is 3mm. You see the thickness, and also the hub bore, which doesn't necessarily matter a lot because these are lug-centric wheels, but you want to make sure the hub bore is big enough. These are actually perfectly matched, so I think it's 67.1mm hub bore, and then the 5x114.3 lug pattern, so these should work. People have said with the stock studs not to go more than 8mm, and even some people debate on the 8mm topic, so I played it safe and just did 5mm, and I think the rear needs it a bit more than the front, so I basically chose 3mm up front, 5mm in the rear. That's where we're at right now. Let's get these suckers put on and see how it looks, because I know the spacers will work. The teeth from the grill is another thing. So, a quick note about the visual appearance of this car. It's not perfect, like in any way, which is kind of refreshing because I feel like I'd be overprotective about it, very type A. I don't know if I mentioned on a previous video, but I almost bought a 2019 RF, so the ND2, the updated engine. At the time, that came out like just under a year before, and it was like lightly used. It was a really good deal for an RF. It was like 30 grand for one that was spec'd to be like 38, but this was less than half that price for arguably the same amount of fun. And actually, I love the RF, it's beautiful, but no retractable convertible in the RF. It's just retractable fastback, kind of a Targa situation. Looks good. I just didn't love the wind buffeting. There's a lot of reasons I chose NC. I'm gonna do another NC specific, like almost like a buyer's guide video. Anyways, if I had gotten the RF, I would have been so protective of it. This one, seen better days. So you can see from the paint that I did on the brake calipers, not holding up super well. That was from scraping the edge of my garage in the last place where I had to share a garage with another tenant that had a huge SUV. It was really frustrating. That's still, yeah, a problem. I've already mentioned some of the paint defects. Still haven't fixed the door ding. You know, it's up close, not a super clean car, but let's look at the spacer situation here. So I'm just gonna do one side right now just to see how it looks and then lower it down and double check that I actually do like how it looks. But we'll get these spacers opened up. I'll talk you through kind of the installation, but it's very, very straightforward. So here we are, the spacers, the two different thicknesses. Yeah, 3 and 5. So pretty slim, but just enough to kind of dial in your actual look. That's really the benefit of spacers for most cases, is just visual aesthetics. They're really not typically functional. They can be. If you have, let's say, a big brake kit that doesn't quite clear a certain wheel you have and it just needs a tiny bit more clearance, these can be useful. So we're gonna see how these fit, but I'm gonna basically use the 3mm up front, which I guess I just do. Oh, I have those. I guess these come off because these are what the hub centric rings for the wheels. And then this will go on. Perfect fit. Then this goes on top of that, I guess. Okay. I mean, it looks good. I don't know. Same situation back here. So these can actually just pop in the back of the wheel, and that should make installation easier that way so I don't knock them off. Okay. Moment of truth. Let's see how it looks. I think it's gonna be perfect. Right, I think that looks quite good, actually. And I don't think I should have any rubbing issues, because in case you forgot or missed it, I did a whole video on how to roll your fenders, literally in preparation for getting wheels that might have a bit of an issue. So the big component with these Kogekis, as I mentioned in that video, was they can be run on a NC Miata without any sort of fender rolling, as long as you do tires that aren't too crazy. These are 225 45s, the Michelin PS4S, and they should fit just fine. So for reference, here's the other side, pre-spacer. Especially the back is where it's noticeable. And the front's really not bad, it's just the rear. And it felt like I had enough threads. From my brief research, I think people said you should at least get 5 turns on the car. The fronts for sure had that, the rears maybe 4. So I don't know, it's once torqued down is how you measure it. So I think it's enough, but a backup plan I think would be maybe running the 3s on the rear and not running fronts at all. But I really do like how that looks. I think that just dials it in just slightly. So I'll cruise to the other side really quick. Then we'll take a look at these darn teeth. Still too hot. I'm just a total pansy. So for the teeth, Shamir basically took plates, face plates, like blanks that you would use on the wall covering where an outlet would be. And here's what I've done. I'm trying the same route. So I basically cut these triangles out of the base plates, which I actually was able to do using like these kind of shear things, and then switching to scissors at some point. So gonna try to see if this will work. This is the screw that just typically works with it, I guess, and then this is kind of something that can act as a nut, and I guess this is a license plate screw. I could see if I could work with that. There's some trial and error to be done, and I don't even know if this is gonna work out. I also have some right angle brackets. I don't know what I'm doing. So these are the plates. Looks pretty good. The license plate bracket mounts here to these holes, and I took it off because front license plates just look terrible, honestly. But if I put it back on, it would cover that up, but then the teeth wouldn't really work. I think the teeth are the most important component of this whole operation. So how close can I get this to being mounted? This is my limitation of where this screw actually is. And if I tried to use those holes directly, there'd be a gap above it, which would still kind of work, but I think I can close down the gap with this thing. Yeah, what is the best order of operations for this? Still a gap. Actually not terrible though. I had to also cut this screw, which kind of messed up the entrance threads. So I have to kind of finag a little bit. Okay, that actually works pretty well. And then this is the pain in the butt, cutting this down, which would be great if I had a better tool for it, I think. There's a will, there's a way. This is probably how I get injured. Got it. Okay. Try this on for size. Well, let's go see how this thing photographs with the teeth, with the spacers. It is a very, very dirty car. But I'm going to use this as an excuse to show you that a car does not have to be clean to look stunning on camera. Well, I think I'm okay with it. It looks a little dorky, but I'm happy enough to not want to fuss anymore. So there you go, just a simple DSLR is all you need for some bomb photos. The phone photos were pretty solid. Like, this phone is blowing my mind for what a phone can do. But a phone really can't replace a DSLR. In some ways it can be better. It's just two different tools. And honestly, I can't imagine having one or the other. But let me know what you guys think of the spacers. I think it really just dials it in just a bit better than it was. And the teeth, I don't know. Not something I'm gonna run all year, but I think it's just dorky enough that I can lean into it for October, for Halloween season. Oh wait, cinematic mode. There we go, cinematic mode in 4K. That's how it should be. Finally, we have 4K cinematic mode. I hope to see cinematic mode continue to improve. Hope to do a lot more videos with the iPhone 14 Pro Max, push it to its limits for B-roll, A-roll, all the things. Do a lot more fun videos with this car. Obviously, a lot is planned. It's just finding time to do it because, you know, I have other jobs and hobbies and things. But appreciate you guys hanging in there, tagging along for the ride, and let me know what else we want to see with this lovely NC Miata. See you guys in the video very soon. Cheers. No matter what anyone says, these mountains never really, genuinely never get old. Living here, like, we're basically in my backyard right now. Can I be a sales guy for Colorado? Is that a thing? Love this place. All right, bye.